Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the May 11th mini healing. So I hope everybody is doing well. Now we'll see if we're having any technical difficulties. So it looks like I am live on Facebook and YouTube. But here's the key. Can you hear me? And there's AJ. Nice to see you. And Harmonious. I can't read the last. Harmonious, INSI, because it cuts off. So welcome. Got little Duncan here. He decided to make an appearance, although his eyes look a little droopy, so I bet he's going to lay down shortly. So tonight is the second mini healing of the month. Usually I try and do things a little different, but not everybody appreciates that. So I will still offer individual healings for those who have something that they want to work on. And I also will offer a positive emotion where if you decide you want to strengthen a positive emotion, I'll have you pick a positive emotion and then I'll pick two more and we'll reinforce and imbue all three of them within you. And in about 4 minutes, we will start with our first healing pulse of the night. Typically, we do 3 of them. So we'll do that. And then I think tonight we might do some brain balancing. Where's my little booklet? Would you believe today is show number 175? Where's my little thing? Last time we did individual negative emotions. I'm trying to see what we did in April. We did some group. So I think I might throw in some group things too. But I hope everybody had a good day. For all the moms out there and all the pet moms, I hope you had a special day. So I know here, where it's typically pretty chilly, we got high 80s. So it's actually hotter than we're used to. So I've got 2 little doggies that typically at least one of them is wearing a t-shirt and today they both are naked. So you know it's hot when the Jones boys are naked. Huh, Duncan? Duncan doesn't always wear clothes just because he's got more hair, but little Dexter, he's got pretty thin hair. Trying to think what else. I'm expecting it'll be a pretty quiet evening, which is good. Because, of course, when I selected the date, I didn't really pay attention to Mother's Day because I celebrated Mother's Day with my mother early, like a few weeks ago. But, oh, Duncan, are you going to go to sleep? His head's getting really droopy. It's pretty funny. So we'll start the healing pulse in just a moment. So I'll tell you a little bit about the healing pulse. The healing pulse is something that I created. It is a combination of my own personal healing frequencies, but also a modality called Shambhala. And when I first started doing it, it was a mixture that was slightly different, but it seems to evolve with the things that are going on. So the great thing about the healing pulse is it goes to where you direct it to go. It works on what you're directing it to. So for instance, if you've got pain or discomfort or some type of sensitivity, especially emotional sensitivities, it works on those first. If there's energy left over, it will go to the root cause. Usually there's not quite enough energy for that, but every once in a while I get someone that feels amazing and it lasts. A sign of it having underlying issues that are not fully healed is the pain or discomfort comes back. But in the short term, especially, it can be very helpful because pain can be so distracting. So sometimes in a private session, I'll do a healing pulse first to hopefully lessen things. So let's start with the healing pulse. So with this, if you've got any pain or discomfort, wherever you're feeling that, that's where I want you to send it. And then I want you to rub your hands together and then place your hands exactly where you want to receive the healing energy. Imagine my hands are on yours. And then here's the most important part. Just be open and allowing. Breathe in that healing energy with each breath in. Imagine it going a little deeper, a little further. With each breath out, you are releasing. And you might be releasing just energy that was part of the block. You might be releasing things that are done. You might be releasing energy that wasn't even yours. So just imagine breathing in and breathing out. Just allowing the healing to happen. And a lot of people do feel this specifically from a distance. However, there are some that don't. And that's like anything. Not everything works for everyone. But I truly hope it does. If you don't feel it, stick around because we're doing some other things that I think you might like. And just be open. Okay, so that was our first healing pulse. We're going to do 2 more. So we're going to do a total of 3. So you've got choices. So if you want to work on something specifically, you put that in the comments. If you have something, so if you have a positive emotion you want to strengthen, we can do that, and I will find 2 more. So to do that, just put the positive emotion in the comments. Otherwise, put down whatever you're working on or whatever is bothering you. You know, say you have a pain in your knee, or maybe you just feel extra sort of sad today. And see, and for the trapped emotions. Okay, so AJ is starting things off. So wonderful, AJ. So AJ is starting with appreciation. And then I'm going to find 2 additional. There's AJ. So I'm going to find 2 additional positive emotions to go with appreciation. That's a good one. It's just a slightly different form of gratitude. Always a good choice. Okay, so I've got my second one. I'm going to do 1 more. Okay, so AJ, you chose appreciation, and I'm choosing friendly and amused. So I'm like, do those go well together? And I think they do, because part of appreciation and being friendly is being more lighthearted, friendly, and just, I find being amused and laughter makes everything so much looser and easier. And so then we go back to appreciation being easier and looser. I just imagine that it being allowed to expand. So we're just going to reinforce and strengthen. So AJ, I want you to help me do that. So reinforcing and strengthening and imbuing appreciation, friendly, and amused. Okay, so that strengthens. So thank you for that, AJ. Very nice selection that you chose for appreciation. Anyone else want me to do some work on them? This might be just one of the worst nights I could have chosen. I really thought we'd have a few more people, but you know, moms are important today, and that's okay. So we'll just see. Thinking, what else can we do? So I'm having another little, oh, there's Tana. Welcome. So Tanya is going to take advantage of the strengthening of positive energies. All right, so Tana's got peace and calm, which are fabulous. And so let's just see what else we're going to add to that. I've got a list of probably about 250 different positive emotions. So let's see what comes up for her. Okay, I've got one more to find. Okay, and this is for Tana. Okay, so we've got peace and calm, and I am adding valued and thoughtful. And I do like how we could really integrate that, because I think peace and calm and being thoughtful really expands the value, both the self-value and the value of others and situations. So I really like that. So Tana, if you could assist me, so we're going to set the intention to strengthen and reinforce and imbue the positive energies of peace, calm, valued, and thoughtful. Very nice. Okay, so that did reinforce. So thank you for that. All right, anyone else want to have something done? Otherwise, oh, I was going to tell you. So Duncan, we're doing a third healing on Duncan. For those of you regulars, Duncan, he's only 5 and he's losing his eyesight. So we're going to do a pet session on him. We've done a couple, and his eyesight seems to be fluctuating, where some days it's better, some days it's worse. I think a lot of the time he can see shadows, but I think every once in a while he can't, because then he runs into stuff. But then there are other times where I know he can see somewhat. So my goal is to just keep, helping him improve, so at least he can see shadow. So that's going to be May 27th And that is going, what day is that? That's a Tuesday. It'll be 7 Central. So that'll be less interactive unless people have questions. And then I am teaching Reiki online July 12th and 13th. And I'm thinking sometime this month or next month, I'll do like a Reiki sampler. And it'll be free. So if people have questions, especially if you're interested in taking the class, because the class is $430 for the 2-day online session. And this is for Reiki 1 and 2, and it's Usui Holy Fire. Holy Fire is the most recent. And it's what I practice. It's an amazing tool. For many of my students, sometimes Reiki is all they need. But for other students, it's a really great jumping off point because the training is pretty thorough and gives you a really good basis for moving on to other things too. I know I've got about 5 different energetic tools that I like to use along with the things like I do here. So like the healing pulse is an evolution of all my training and frequencies and energies. So, okay, so let's do another healing pulse because I think we'll probably be done early tonight. So I want you to pick out a spot that you want to send the energy. Now, if you're totally not sure because you're doing really well, oh, of course, self-Reiki is very important. And I always recommend, especially once you learn Reiki, to do it every day because it's a very, it's like a muscle. It helps you strengthen. I'm not always very good at doing it every day, but I really think that it should be a priority for all of us who practice Reiki or other healing. So yeah, it's wonderful. So let's do that second healing pulse. And with this, so if you're not sure where to send it, I always suggest send it to your heart. Or if you're working on intuition, send it to that third eye. All right, so you're ready? Rub your hands together and place your hands exactly where you want to receive the energy. Just open and allowing. Imagine my hands on yours. And you're allowing the healing to flow through. With each breath in, the energy goes a little further. With each breath out, you are releasing. Breathe it in and release. Okay, so that was healing pulse number 2. And being it's such a quiet night, if anyone here, like Sotana and AJ already went, but you both did the positive energies. If you want to work on something else to remove any trapped emotions, just let me know. Since it's pretty quiet. And so if you're new here, typically on the first of the month for the mini healing, I specifically work on releasing trapped emotions related to certain conditions. So sometimes it's pain, sometimes it's emotions, and look for underlying reasons why. And so, like in the chat, you would put, I've got a pain in my elbow, or I'm feeling extra anxious, or I'm super mad today and I don't know why. So you just put something pretty basic in the comments. You don't have to explain a lot. And I'll look and see if there is anything that is contributing towards that. And then with the positive energies, what I have you do is choose an energy you want to strengthen. So like Tana chose peace and calm. AJ chose appreciation. And so you choose your first positive emotion, and then I find 2 additional ones to reinforce. So extra quiet, a little bit more about Reiki. So generally with each private session, I do usually end up doing Reiki. Well, I shouldn't say usually, I always. So if Reiki comes up during the session, I'll do that during the session. But if Reiki does not come up, I always do at least 10 minutes at the end. And the funny thing about Reiki is little Duncan, little orange dude, he loves Reiki. And so sometimes when he feels the need for Reiki, especially when I'm doing an online session, and so basically I'll beam the energy out, he'll come and sit right on my lap in between my hands and just suck up the energy. And he just is sort of a little Reiki fiend. He is just so funny about Reiki. Nope, Tana, we can try that. So Tana wants to work on anxiety. Yeah, usually it is not so quiet for the mini healings, but I think it's just because I chose a bad night. But that's okay. So let's see if there is an underlying reason in looking at trapped emotions why you're just got a certain level of anxiety today. And my negative emotion list, I think, has about 400. So I know some of them I have never even said. Okay, so I'm getting the energy of unreasonable. Let me get an age for that, Tana. Getting about age 26. So somewhere 25, 26, 27. Something happened. And so right now I'm getting just the energy of it being unreasonable. So I don't know if it was a person, if it was an event, if it was a situation, or just something you felt. So let me just see. So I'm not getting an event. Is it a person? Yeah, there's a person. Female. So I don't know if that rings a bell, but I could use your help in releasing it. So let's go ahead and release the energy of unreasonable around age 26. As many of you know, ages are the hardest thing, so usually it's plus or minus a year. Okay, so checking to see if it did release. That did release. Wonderful. So next, we're going to do brain balancing. This is a fabulous little tool. One of my clients likes to use it before she goes into work. Work can be pretty stressful for her. And so, I'm going to sneeze. So she will sit in her car right before she's supposed to go in, and it helps her be calmer. It helps her be more articulate. And she says it's really been helpful for her. And so what we're doing is we are energetically connecting the left and right hemispheres. They already of the brain. They already are connected, but sometimes the energy is very narrow. And so expanding the pathway between can really be helpful and balance everything out. So I want you to rub your hands together. Now with this, you can use the healing pulse energy. I always suggest you also work with just your own energies too, but it's all personal preference. And so then I want you to do 2 fingers on each hand, and then you're going to touch your scalp, and it's about 1 inch above your ears, and just push through your hair. And then pick a hand to start. And I want you to imagine that hand accumulating the energy. And if you don't feel it, just keep doing it, because part of it is the more you do it, the easier it is to feel it. Because with this, I didn't always feel this. But I've did it on enough clients that they would tell me they felt it. All right, so I've got quite a bit of energy collected in my hand. Sort of tingly. It feels sort of full. So I'm going to start sending it to the opposite hand. And so especially initially, if this is not something you typically do, it's a little slow going. In the end, it'll be more like a laser pointer. But for now, it's going to be just a little slow. So I'm starting to release and send it across. So right now it's entering. It's going like, it's right by my eye. It's halfway. Right by my other eye. And it's going, it's exiting. So I'm collecting that energy in my other hand. And it doesn't really matter which hand. So however you choose when you start. So I'm collecting that energy, allowing it all to just flow. And now you are starting to release that energy back. So it's still going to be a little slow. It will be a little faster than the first time. So right now it's entering. It's going by my eye. It's halfway by the other eye, and it's exiting. I'm collecting that energy. Okay, so I've got it all collected. I'm sending it back. So this time it's going to be a little faster. So right now it's entering. It's halfway. It's all the way through. I'm collecting. Starting to send back. It's halfway through. It's exiting. So I'm collecting. And so now it's going to go quite fast. So just imagine this is like laser pointing speed. So back and forth. I think what would be the most time consuming in this part is collecting the energy, because you don't want to send back until you have all the energy collected. So sending, receiving, and wait a few seconds. Sending, receiving. I'll wait a few seconds. Sending, receiving. So that was brain balancing. Let me know what you think of that. Some people really appreciate it. Some people it's not their thing, but part of it is finding the tools that work for you, the tools that seem helpful. It's not everything works for everyone. I wish it did. Life would be so much easier for healing, wouldn't it? But even traditional medicine is that way. Not everything works for everyone. So work to find what works for you. So I think let's do one more healing pulse. And I think we're going to get done early tonight just because everyone was so quiet. But I do appreciate those of you who are here. Wonderful. It's a great tool. I use it on my clients too. So you might want to try that. So yeah, it's a fabulous thing. So let's do our third healing pulse, and then we'll end with aura strengthening. So I want you to rub your hands together and place your hands exactly where you want to receive the healing energy. And just be open and allowing. Allowing that energy to flow with each breath in. You are allowing the energy to go a little deeper, a little further. With each breath out, you are releasing. Open and allowing. Okay, so that was healing pulse number 3. So next we're going to do the aura strengthening. So the great thing about having a really strong aura is it helps repel negativity. And not everybody is really positive. And so with this, if your aura is strong, it helps you not feel those energies quite so much. Sometimes it can be just really overpowering. So this will help lessen that. So if you want to use the healing pulse energy for this, feel free. If you want to basically work with your own energies, which I highly encourage you to do, feel free. To start, I want you to rub your hands together, get that energy flowing. Energy's coming from your palm chakras. And then I want you to just beam the energy out. Imagine your aura getting thicker, stronger, wider, more impenetrable. And then I would suggest a hint of reflectivity, because you don't want total reflectivity, because we want people to be able to see you, especially when you're walking and driving. Now here's the fun part. So you're making your aura, the exterior, stronger. So you've got like a bubble. What do you want in your bubble? What do you need in your bubble? So like AJ, if I were AJ, I'd fill it up with appreciation. If I were Tana, I would fill it with peace and calm. I'm trying to think what I need today. I think I just need just restful energy today. Just fill that up. So you're strengthening the outside, but you're also expanding what you need on the inside. Just allow. Wonderful. Well, I did a really bad job picking the date for tonight. And I can tell just because usually we have quite a bit more people, but that's okay. It was meant to be. I am so glad that everyone showed up and took part. So thank you for that. I will be here again June 1st. And if you're interested in pet healing, we've got a Duncan session on May 27th, and I will be posting on Facebook that additional event. I need to find a date for the Reiki sampler. And I'll put I haven't decided if I'm going to do that through Zoom. Oh, thank you, Tana. Thank you, AJ. And I hope everyone has a fabulous week. Bye.